Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching us from different time zones, good morning or good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Marilyn. I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited, or CTS, and we are Asia's most trusted training and business solutions partner. We have been creating programs that adds value and impact for leaders to stay relevant, adapt to the next normal, and ensure performance of a hybrid team. And our mission is to be able to inspire sustainable transformation by empowering leaders through customized learning solutions that drives outcomes as well as impact. So we have served over 4,500 leaders from over 30 countries in different industries, including Petronas, Sony Mobile, Ayala Group, Meralco, Aboy Peace Power, Seda Hotel, Manila Hotel, to name a few. And today, I'm very excited to finally get to have Trina to have this interview with me. Trina Teo is a Singaporean author, serial entrepreneur, chief people architect, HR consultant, executive coach, career coach, and mother of one. Trina Teo has been empowering CEO and COOs in the business of building people capability so that they satisfy clients and profitability will follow. And without so much further ado, I'd like to bring in and invite Trina. Hi, Trina. Trina, can you hear me? Okay, Trina is not responding. We've noticed actually a bit of delay when we were starting. Oops, I've lost her. So I will appreciate your patience while she's actually coming back, or she's logging in back to this stage. So for now, this is how live it is. So we will appreciate your patience. And for now, I would like to invite everyone to please do join us in this conversation as we actually speak about leadership and transformation. And I'll be asking her, as usual, some of the questions to um, let us know, like, from which perspective is she coming from, and who are her influencers, as well as the corporate leaders, like the usual problems, and as well as the important leadership capabilities. She said she lost connection. Um, Ayan, okay, she's back. Welcome back, Trina. Can you hear me now?
Right. Connection, Wi-Fi challenges here at my end. I will just introduce myself now. I'm a seasoned HR professional with over 20 years of diverse Asia Pacific experience. HR practices through the proven process of acquiring, developing, and retaining talents, contributing to sustainable hyper growth and commercial business targets.
Thank you for that introduction. And so you got a little bit more of what she does. And she has worked with quite a number of multinational companies here in Asia, but based in Asia, right? Aside from being an entrepreneur now, and that's where we actually met each other. We're in the same mentorship program, and that would only mean that we have been investing on ourselves as well. We're not just letting you know this message about the importance of learning and leadership, but also we personally also like invest a lot on ourselves through masterminds, business mentorship, and other programs that we are actually in. So to start with, my question is, who are your influencers? Probably if you have a favorite leadership style or styles that you'd like to share with us that actually leads you, how you define what leadership is for you, please do share with us.
Thank you for your question, Marilyn. So my influences were during the earlier days of my career, where they were very senior leaders, pillars of the organization I work with, and people that I look forward to working with on a daily basis, right? And I thank all the mentors and leaders I've had the opportunities to work with in the various MNCs while I was helming regional and global HR positions. So, leadership for me means the ability to communicate effectively and also to lead a team. My style is usually one that is very diplomatic because I don't believe in having an authoritarian leadership style.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that with us again. Just to repeat, for if in case that some people have actually like missed that, you mentioned that most of your influencers are actually the senior leaders that you have worked with, and one of your favorite leadership style is democratic. And so, I mean, you worked for several decades as well in the corporate world as a corporate leader, and also now you're actually coaching and consulting for corporate leaders as well, right? So what would you say would be the top three problems that they normally face?
I would say first up, corporate leaders face the challenge of alignment, alignment of their mission, vision, values, because these are often can come across as motherhood statements, but also the fact is we now have a very dynamic environment, business economy and environment, and the company's direction would tend to change according to the economy, and they would need to actually react to how the economy is doing and the impact on the industry. So the alignment of mission, vision, values, and what they want to do as a company will be translated into the various projects that the corporate functions as a company need to um, calibrate and coordinate to make sure that whatever the company do for that particular year will enable them to reach their corporate goals.
Okay, so other than that, what else? Like you've mentioned, first is alignment on mission, vision, and values. If there's like three problems that you'd like to share with us, what else are you actually, what do you have on top of mind?
Uh, Let me think for a moment. I think top three problems would be being able to attract talents. That is a very big concern for a lot of companies right now. The war for talent. This has been going on for decades already. That is
Mm-hmm.
also because companies have the challenges of not being able to perhaps pay at a competitive rate in terms of their business, and the ability to attract talent sometimes hinges upon the affordability of the talents as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one. And other than talent attraction, there's also once you attract the talents, then how do you develop them and how do you train the leaders and also how do you retain them? So I've come up with a talent radar framework. Talent radar, radar stands for retention, attraction, and development to accelerate their results. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And again, to summarize that, as you mentioned, the top problems that most leaders do face are actually, first of all, is alignment within the mission, vision, and values, which is very important because that's, I would say, the anchor and the base of all these, right? For them to be able to actually like leverage on those mission, vision, values that they have. And in fact, I had similar experience where I had the opportunity, Kun An uh, uh, from a company in Thailand actually invited me to a corporate culture program that they run, to share what they do to actually live their mission, their vision, their values in alignment with their company, with their goals, with their employees as well, which is very interesting. It's a wonderful experience for me when Kun An invited me, and I'm so impressed how they actually design from the office to how they train their people, how they standardize the development. Because you've mentioned again, one of the challenges, of course, to develop and retain the talents, right? And when you are able to align your mission, vision, values with a team and attract the right people and develop and retain, of course, those talents who will blend in or who will be able to live and walk the talk around the culture, then that's what makes sense, right? But obviously we will not leave like everyone or anyone in this question just the problem. But before I ask the next question, I just want to say thank you to Jay Ramirez for giving us a thumbs up. And hi, Miss Bless, you're here. I'm glad you're here. I thought you're actually working on a different time zone. So I'm glad to see you here today. And again, I would like to invite those who are watching us live today, join us in this conversation, ask your questions, give us your takeaway, and join Trina and I on this conversation around the leadership and transformation. So, again, like I've mentioned, I don't want to leave them with this problems that we have raised around talents and the mission vision. So, from your experience and from what you do right now as a coach as well, right? And an architect, chief people architect, right? um, what would you say would be the most important leadership capabilities, skills, or like what I've learned from my recent interview with Paul, capacities that you must have in this next normal to continue to lead more effectively? And if you can relate that to the work that you actually do share with us, like what's your story, what's your experience, why you are actually saying that.
I would still put it down to the leadership capability and the capacity to lead. But most importantly, I think the ability to communicate effectively. Because if a leader cannot communicate clearly the mission, vision, values, or just give the correct instructions and build a team, collaborative team, and solve challenges, disagreements, it would be very hard to actually have people follow after you. And I think everyone is a leader, but the leader needs to be able to provide this ability to communicate so that he can give the team members assurance that he's there for them, he's there to look after them and to provide a safe environment for them to share
Mhm.
openly. And once they have this sense, a team has a sense of safety, they would want to, contribute more. And as they say, a team that works together is a dream team, right? And together they can
Mhm.
achieve more. So I think communication skills is definitely at the top of my list for effective leadership.
Is there anything more that you'd like to add aside from leading and communicating? Or do you have any stories or examples that you'd like to share with us in relation to that answer?
Let me think. Well, for me, I think the ability to align with the senior leadership team and then cascading the mission vision to the team that I'm leading, or to my
Mm-hmm.
clients, is
Mm-hmm.
very key, because sometimes when it's not, when the leadership is not clear about the direction of the company, we are not able to cascade that information down to the different layers of the organization. And when people feel like they lack that direction, they feel lost, and
Mm-hmm.
will not be able to retain them. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why I think communication skills is very critical. And it's not only at the leadership level, but I think every individual, um, every one of us who is working in a corporation or in business need to be able to understand and communicate effectively, so that we can solve the day-to-day issues and provide the solution and communicate the solution to address all the problems that a company faces.
Exactly. And I really love that you've actually highlighted around communication, because at the end of the day, right, without us being able to communicate what we expect, what we look forward to attain, or even the goals that we wanted to actually align ourselves and the organization with, it's gonna be like difficult as well, right? And so, well, despite that, we know there's a lot of like uh, s- statistics that says that leadership is actually one of the top problems that most leaders do face, right? I mean, 7 out of 10 of the challenges most leaders do face is around communication, which is very interesting. And since we're actually talking about abilities, capabilities, skills, and capacities around leadership, in your in our title and in the focus of this conversation, you're supposed to share with us actually around the unique genius and gifts to create abundance as a leader, right? So, like, how I would say that that particular statement is actually very related into those important capabilities as well, right? It's really about leveraging on the unique genius and gifts of your team members. So, is there anything that you'd like to share around that space as well?
Okay, so recently I discovered this new profiling tool, which
Mm-hmm.
is called the Gene Keys. And
Mm-hmm.
the elements of the Gene Keys comprise of is basically an evolving synthesis of living wisdom. And the Gene Keys actually has a central purpose, which is to unlock a person's higher purpose. And the profile that comes out of this profiling is just to put in your birth date and the time of birth, the country you're born, and your email address, and they will give you a
Mm-hmm.
hologenetic profile, which is a personalized
Mm-hmm.
chart of gene keys relating specifically to every individual.
Mm-hmm.
And the founder actually advocates that with this profile, you can go on the golden path. It's a series of contemplative journeys designed to raise your frequency. And
Mm-hmm.
in this profile, you will find your shadow, which is your victim patterns, and
Mm-hmm.
your gift, which is the feel of transformation, and the
Mm-hmm.
city, the arising essence or the real meaning of that particular gift that you have. So with this profile, I think it will help everyone understand, you know, your deepest purpose, your highest expression of all your relationships, and how to
Mm-hmm.
unlock your prosperity and what you thrive best at. So with that, I would say it's worth exploring this as a profiling tool for everyone on your team before you even hire them, because this will allow you to align the person's deepest interests and how they thrive in their life and at work, to align with that of your company's mission, vision, and values. And for leaders, know that we need to communicate very clearly, because when people leave, they don't leave the organization, they leave the leader. So to be an effective leader, I would, encourage everyone to explore the gene keys and your hologenetic profile.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm also super excited the first time I actually get to know about gene keys. In previous conversations, I've actually made mention about this. And I would say I get to first knew this in our community with from Sunny, who's actually based in the US as well, doing around this space around gene keys and like uh, bringing out the best in the people through like finding out what your purpose is, right? Because at the end of the day, if you get to leverage on each other's strengths or in someone else's purpose, right, and aligning it with a organization, it would, like how everyone can actually thrive. Having said that, right, which is really good and very interesting, I would say. Like you said, it's really about unlocking the purpose of the people that you work with, right? And it's gonna be a great tool. Having said that, right? And so in another note, you've also mentioned about fly, which stands for first love yourself, learn to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking, and I'm actually like reiterating the points or bullet points that we've shared with us to make sure that we're actually sharing with them what we promised to to do. And I would say that all of these that you've shared on the three bullet points actually is in alignment or in relation to the capabilities, skills, capacities, and things that you might must pay attention to be able to thrive in this next normal, right? So what does
Mm-hmm.
actually like fly means, and why is it important actually as a leader?
So, as a leader, I think it's important to first love yourself. So that's why
Mhm,
it's F.L.Y. And it is an acronym that I've come up with because I went through a journey of my own through personal and business failures in the past. And it forced me to spend some time out, take some time out to be
mhm,
on my own. And I realized that I've been so busy in my professional career and personal life that I didn't have time or made time for myself. And when
mhm,
everything came crashing down on me, I was forced to spend time on my own. And that was when I realized that, wow, I have neglected myself for so many years. And
mhm,
I came up with the coaching program for First Love Yourself as well for high flyers, leaders, or individuals who deem themselves or look at upon themselves as leaders. And it's important to take time out, like retreat,
mhm,
to care for oneself, self-care, and first love yourself, so that
mhm.
you can recover from the challenges that you've been facing, the emotional stresses and all, and then be more effective when you have rejuvenated and, giving yourself sufficient self-care.
I really appreciate that you actually brought us through what F.L.Y or fly means, which is first love yourself, right? And it's
Yes.
interesting because I'm having quite a number of conversations around this space recently, where like, oh, how can we actually help not only of course the leaders but also the employees in terms of how are we actually amplifying or supporting them in terms of their wellness, their well-being, right? And obviously it takes quite a number of things or aspects in life, being human and as complex as we are, right? It's really
Mm-hmm.
like so much. First and foremost, as you've mentioned, is first loving yourself, right? Because that's also a conversation that I had in a previous talk that I did, where like we agreed, and we actually I've shared that, yeah, I mean, as a leader you have the right to have like a vacation, a holiday, a leave, and all those stuff, because like what you've mentioned, having those time outs, retreats, or taking breaks from work as a leader makes you even more effective when you come back or after you rejuvenated, right? And so it's important to have that balance as well. And again, like in another conversation with Michael Netsley, he also said that leaders are actually vessels. So how can you give something you do not have, right? And so
Mhm.
that's also the reason why we have to prioritize ourselves as a leader, love ourselves, um, in order for us to have more compassion as well to others, right? Because in understanding ourselves, we can also better understand others at the same time, right? I hope you agree with that, based on what actually these are things that came into my mind based on what you've said and shared on first love yourself.
Sure, there is a proverb in the Bible that says,
Mhm.
love your neighbor as yourself. So unless you're able to love yourself, you cannot love on others. Yeah.
And I would say the next bullet point that you've mentioned is knowing your human design is related to the first one, which is using gene keys to understand your human design and like how you actually manifest your purpose, and dream life, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. I've read through mine. I've actually like looked into other people's gene keys as well, which is very interesting because like it really highlights like what are the challenge and the even the like process, or like aside from of course the gifts, the shadows and the cd that you mentioned, right? It actually shows us like what makes us like tick, or what makes us have fun in terms of like whether it's emotions or like our body, what will make us radiant, right? And how can we
Mm-hmm.
actually live those purpose, and what are the strengths that we can leverage in life. And I'm really glad that when I actually look at my gene keys, in fact, I was like, wow, it's really like I'm already living my purpose, like doing a lot of the things around leadership, learning, partnerships, which is the business model that I have. And so like that makes me very excited as well. In terms of this gene keys. So I'm just curious to know, like, I mean, we've talked about you've answered all the questions that I have, plus as well as the like the points or bullet points that we've shared that we're going to talk about. So that leads me actually to my last question, that if you have a magic wand and can use it, what will you do with it?
I would literally want to help people to discover their gene keys, their purpose, their deepest purpose. Because if every one of us know what our purpose is, we are able to not only elevate oneself but others. And I
Mhm.
think everyone needs to know what they want, and happens to be helping people find out what is their purpose. So that's the reason why my coaching program is all about helping you discover what you are created for, to
Yay,
lead
that's
your
really
super
beautiful.
abundant life. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I was just saying that my gene keys is to help people discover what they're created for, helping people to discover their life's deepest purpose, and to live it, so that they can manifest their super abundant life.
Thank you for sharing that with us. That's really beautiful. I mean, like, it's interesting that my purpose is actually to make life easier for others. And so, like, that's very interesting. And I'm glad I actually like look into the space of learning and leadership, because transformation only happens when you are open to learn and you also like lead not only yourself but also to others, right? Which is amazing. So thank you so much for sharing with us your magic wand. And I would say that even without the magic wand, I mean, with the work that you do, I'm sure you've been already helping people, leaders, to discover their purpose, to again elevate their life, right? So thank you so much for the work that you do. And before we end this conversation, is there any final message that you'd like to leave our audience with?
I think above all, I'm here to empower leaders to fly, to first love yourself and live your extraordinary life. So I want to encourage all of you to discover your gene keys. It's a free profile, and you can even get that free profile link through Marilyn as well.
Thank you so much for that message. And yeah, I look forward to know more like clients or leaders that you engage with to really find their purpose, because sometimes it takes time for us to realize that, oh, we haven't really lived our purpose right now. I mean, there are times that we realize that. And I had similar conversation with like some senior leaders where they said like, how can we actually manifest and make a difference in this life? And sometimes we realize that when we are already in our 50s or later, right? So why not now? So that's a
Mhm.
challenge, I guess, I would like to share, or to give to our audience today. To why not discover your purpose now and live a life that is more meaningful, that can impact other lives, right? If you can, why not now? Don't wait until it's too late, right? Or but anyway, we all have a journey that we have to take as well. Sometimes it takes time to actually get to that realization. But either way, we're here to support you. If there's anything that we can support you around learning, around leadership especially, let us know and connect with us. And again, thank you so much, Trina, for this very interesting and refreshing conversation with you. And I'm super excited to also collaborate with you. And again, for those who are watching us live, thank you so much for joining us today. And let's help each other to create more opportunities to make this world a better place to live in, because you know that we can, right? And remember that even the richest investors in the world would say that investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make in your life. So, with that, we would like to leave you with this quote that if your actions create legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Thank you so much, Trina, for your time and for being our excellent leader for the day. And thank you so much for those who have actually watched or joined us live today. If you have any additional questions, takeaways, or anything else that you'd like to share in this conversation, feel free to tag us so that we can actually help you answer those questions. Thank you so much, Sheena, and thank you, everyone. Bye for now.